Titanic 1912. On the morning of April 10, 1912, Southampton Harbor in England was filled with an unusual excitement. The black hull of the Titanic stood tall, as if looking down over the pier. The voices of those departing and those seeing them off echoed throughout the harbor. People believed this ship was a doorway to a new life. The Titanic was the largest passenger ship in the world at the time. She was built in a shipyard in Belfast, England, commissioned by the White Star Line. Her 269-meter hull and 4 massive funnels symbolized the pinnacle of human technology. No one believed that such a ship could ever sink. Passengers boarded the ship through different passages according to their class. First-class passengers walked leisurely toward the luxurious interior. Third-class passengers hurried up narrow stairways, clutching their luggage. They were sailing on the same ship, but their journeys felt different from the very beginning. Around noon, the Titanic slowly began to leave Southampton Harbor. She was scheduled to head for New York, stopping at Cherbourg in France and Queenstown in Ireland. The long blast of the ship's horn filled the entire harbor. Thus, the ship moved forward majestically toward the North Atlantic. Once the voyage began, first class was filled with an elegant daily routine. In the dining room, silver cutlery and crystal glasses sparkled under the light of chandeliers. Passengers enjoyed fine meals and engaged in refined conversation. Here, the dangers of the sea felt like stories from another world. On the third-class decks, a simple yet lively scene unfolded. Children ran across the deck, feeling the sea breeze on their faces. Immigrants leaned against the railings, imagining an unseen future beyond the horizon. New York was still far away, but hope felt closer than ever. Inside the Titanic, the ship functioned like a small city in constant motion. Crew members moved briskly through corridors, carrying luggage and mail. Staircases and elevators organically connected cabins and dining rooms on each deck. The massive ship operated flawlessly, as if it were a living, breathing being. In the wireless room, the sound of Morse code rang out day and night. Most of the work involved private messages sent by passengers. At the same time, iceberg warnings were arriving from other ships sailing the North Atlantic. Yet these critical signals piled up without receiving sufficient attention. On the night of April 14, 1912, the North Atlantic was eerily calm. In the pitch-black darkness, with no moonlight or waves, the sea lay flat like a mirror. Under such conditions, even the white foam around an iceberg was impossible to see. An unseen danger was quietly but surely approaching the ship. The lookout sailors in the crow's nest stared tensely into the darkness. But the binoculars they needed were nowhere to be found. Suddenly, a massive dark shape emerged from the blackness ahead. An urgent hand rang the warning bell 3 times. At 11:40 p.m. on April 14, 1912, the Titanic collided with an iceberg in the North Atlantic shipping lane. For most passengers, it felt like nothing more than a slight vibration. Below the surface, however, multiple compartments of the hull were being damaged at once. Freezing seawater began pouring in violently through the massive gaps. Immediately after the collision, most passengers thought nothing was wrong. Some continued strolling on deck, while others returned to their warm cabins. Only the crew hurried below with pale faces to inspect the lower sections of the ship. The word sinking had not yet been spoken aloud. After midnight, lifeboats on the deck began to be prepared one by one. People asked questions in confusion, but no clear answers were given. The phrase, "just a precaution," was repeated again and again. Meanwhile, the ship was beginning to list slowly, enough for people to feel it. Following the rule of women and children first, the lifeboats were lowered. Many boats were sent down to the sea, less than half full. The voices of those remaining on deck grew quieter and quieter. Those parting gazed at one another in silence for a long time. On one side of the deck, the band continued to play until the very end. The music briefly soothed fear and chaos. In the freezing night air, the melodies drifted away into the darkness. The ship continued sinking deeper into the water, unstoppable. At 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912, the Titanic sank completely. The enormous hull split in two and disappeared into the deep darkness. Only lifeboats and floating debris remained on the surface. The North Atlantic night returned to silence. After the long night, the light of dawn slowly spread across the horizon. The Carpathia, racing to the scene after receiving distress signals, arrived at the site. A total of 710 people were rescued from the freezing sea. The voices of more than 1,500 others were never heard again. The wreck of the Titanic now lies on the floor of the North Atlantic at a depth of about 4,000 meters. In the cold, deep sea, the hull is slowly corroding and becoming part of history. Salvage remains impossible, both technically and ethically. This tragic event now lives vividly only in records and in memory.